What's up, guys? Noah Campbell here. Got a really cool video for you guys today. Gonna do this video on if you can afford 3 rods, what 3 you need to have. Got 1 spinning and 2 bait casting combos. So let's go ahead and get on this video. But first, I'm gonna tell you a little something I got coming up on my channel. Gonna do another video similar to this one, that if you can only afford 1 rod, what 1 rod and 1 reel combo you need to get. Also going to do another one a little later in the week on if you can afford 5, what 5 you need to get. So let's get on into this video. Should be really helpful for you guys who can't afford a lot of rods. I know the majority of fishermen can't afford a ton of rods, including myself. At for a few years ago, I couldn't afford a ton of rods. I only had a handful. So let's get on into this video. So start off with this little spinning reel. This spinning reel is going to be for your finesse application. So I like a 2000 size spinning reel. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I'm not trying to promote any brands. I'm just going to tell you, describe you the rod and reel you need to get, and then I'll also mention the one I use for this application. So 2000 size spinning reel. This is the Ardent combo, Ardent Edge rod, Ardent C4 spinning reel. It's a really good combo, really light, but you want high-vis braid on this reel. Some 20 or 30 pound super high-vis braid. I have green on this one. I really didn't put like some orange or some yellow or even white. The majority of the time I'm using a leader, an 8 or 10 pound, like 6 foot-ish in length, fluorocarbon leader. 2000 size, 6-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 reel. This rod and reel combo is going to be for your finesse fishing, your drop shot, your super fluke, weightless fluke fishing, your Cinco fishing, your light Texas rigs. It's going to be all thrown on this rod. What else to mention? Oh, the rod. You want this rod to be about 7 foot in length, approximately 7 foot in length. Majority of the time they're a little bit shorter. This one's a 6'9". This one's a light action. But you want about a medium, I said light action, light power. I always get the two confused. You want a light power. This is a light power. You want a medium power. You want a medium power rod, in that area, and you want a fast action. Action is the way the rod bends, and then the power is how much, the backbone of it and how thick it is. So you want a fast action. So you want a stiffer tip so you can feel those bites on that, finesse applications. Your drop shot, your light Texas rig, you want to be able to feel those bites, and then for your fluke and your weightless fishing, it doesn't matter quite as much. But so 7 foot in length, medium power, fast action. 2000 size reel, 30 pound, 20-30 pound high vis braided line. So that's your first combo right there. Spinning reel. Put that one over here. Alrighty. So you probably noticed that I still have 3 more rods over here, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But let's get into this one first. So this one right here is going to be a medium heavy, 7 foot-ish in length rod. This is going to be for your spinner baits, your smaller, crankbaits. What else do you need to throw with this? You can throw some Texas rigs, some smaller jigs. This is one of probably the best all-around rod out there. So if you can only afford one and you're just watching this video anyways, this is your rod. I'm going to do a video on this style of rod. This is going to be the one I'm going to talk about in the video that I'm just going to talk about just one, combo if you can only afford one. This is a 6'10" medium heavy. You're going to want around a 7 foot medium heavy, and this one's a fast action. That's perfect. That's going to be awesome for your jig fishing, your spinner baits, your Texas rigs. I mean, this is just the best all-around rod you can get. You're going to want a 6-to-1 reel, 6-to-1 in that range. It'll really allow you to throw any bait you want. The line I would put on here, I'd probably put a 12-pound fluorocarbon line. That'd probably allow you to fish anything with it. So that's combo number 2 right there. Forgot to mention on the spinning reel, you're probably wondering, since you got fluorocarbon on this one, where you're going to throw your topwater baits, you're probably either going to have to put some mono on this one or put braided on the one I just showed you, the medium heavy. You could put braided line on this if you wanted to. But The spinning reel, because it has braided line, will allow you to throw those little tiny poppers and stuff like that. Okay, so this is the last rod. I still have two sitting over here, so now it's time to tell you about these two I have sitting over here. The next rod, I have two of them, so you could kind of choose the size you want. But right here is a 7-foot heavy action rod. This one's kind of a lighter heavy action. I really love this rod. It's probably one of my favorite rods. This is a Falcon Buku Micro. Retails for like about 130 bucks, but it's an awesome rod. It's a 7-foot heavy action, but it just feels great in your hand. It's super light. What this rod is going to be for is for your really big Texas rigs. You'll be able to throw crankbaits on this thing if you wanted to. Some crankbaits dive 15 feet. You'll be able to handle them fairly well on this combo. Big jigs, big Carolina rigs. This will allow you to throw some heavy baits, and if you get a 7-foot heavy, you can actually even throw some lighter baits on it too. So the reel you want to have on here, you want to have like a 7-to-1, a 7-4-to-1. The one I have on here is an 8-to-1. So a 7-to-1 reel. 15-pound fluorocarbon is a must. You want a heavier fluorocarbon, so you can really winch the fish out. You get some backbone, not worried about breaking off. So 7-foot heavy action rod, fast, heavy power. I don't know why I keep saying that. Heavy power rod, fast action. So it's got a stiff tip, lets you feel the bites. So 7-to-1 reel, 15-pound fluorocarbon. Okay, the other option you can do with this third rod, I'm about to show you right now. Instead of going to that 7-foot heavy, you can go with more of a broomstick type thing. This depends on where you live as well. So this would be your more broomstick type rod. This is a 7.3 heavy. So it's a little stiffer. It's got a little bit more length to it. Allows you to cast a little farther. But if you live in Florida or you're fishing some really nasty, gnarly stuff, then this is probably what you need to go with on that third rod. This has 65-pound braid on it. You could go a little lighter. You could go with 50-pound braid if you wanted to. But if you're fishing that heavy stuff, you're going to want this combo. This is a 7-to-1 reel, 65-pound fluorocarbon, and a 7.3 heavy, or you could even go up to a little bigger and go with like a 7.6 heavy or something like that. But that's what you're going to want if you're one of those like Florida guys or Texas guys. Or maybe there's some of the lakes in here in Georgia are pretty that's a pretty heavy cover, but and that's the 3 combos right there. So I hope this video helped you out if you're trying to figure out which rod and reel combos you want to get. Also be sure to check for those other 3 videos or other 2 videos. They might have been posted yet, they might not have, depending on what time you're watching this video. So check those out as well. Thanks for viewing, guys. If you have any questions about any of those rods and reels, then please just comment below and I'll be glad to answer them. And then I'll also put my favorite for each one of those in the description below. So thanks for viewing, guys. I'll catch y'all next time, and be ready for a bunch of new videos coming out this week. So peace out.